Fine, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now let's start with the EC2 instance. So what is this EC2 instance? What is this EC2? It is not actually EC. You may call it as EC square as well, or EC2. So what is that? It is elastic compute cloud. See, you see the three terms, which is elastic, which there is a possibility for you to scale up and scale down, which is elasticity. So where for the based on the requirement of the user services, you can really scale up and scale down. What are you scale up and scale down? That is what computational services. That is what you have an option. You mean the user who has still has an option to scale up and scale down the computational services from where? From the AWS cloud. That is what you say, that elastic cloud, compute cloud, which is EC2. So obviously EC2 is the web service provided by the AWS for what? For these are the two items which I'm talking about. Resizable or scalable. So only the keyword which is in the EC2, it is elastic, where you can really do the scale up and scale down of your required virtual machines as a part of your service agreement, right? It is not that at the time of you gave the request, at that time you would have asked for the 25 VMs. Later, can I increase the capacity? Can I increase the instances? In the sense, definitely you can increase. You can you can ask for making to be a 50 duplicates of that 25. Within no time they can give you the access. So that is where your cloning will come to the picture. In general, I'm trying to convey that based on your requirement, you can do perform that scale up and scale down within a very less time, and based on your actual utilization of the resources only you'll be paying. That is what we said in the previous slide, as a pay as you go, right? So now then, as usual, so these EC2 instances will allow you to run your applications, right? It will allow you to run your user applications on those virtual servers. Those virtual servers is nothing else than your instances. So, and as usual, so it is a rapid deployment. That's what I as already mentioned. So based within a very less time, they will enhance your computational services based on your request, and based on that only you need to pay. So now I am utilizing more resources. So after 2 hours or after 10 hours, I wanted to reduce. If I reduce that resource utilization or instance utilization or application utilization, definitely my cost involved will also will drop down automatically. So only we said that as simple as pay as you go. So you use it, you pay. If you are not using, you don't have to pay, right? So that is the best service which you can get from this AWS, which is EC2 instance. What are the different instance types we have under this EC2, if you ask me? So there are different kind of EC2 instances. Like for general purpose, we have M1, M3, M4. Again, the compute optimized instances. We have C1, actually C1, C3, C4. Like that, we have different kind of instance types. Like for storage specific, we have I1, D2, I2, right? So again, GPU enabled service. If you want a EC2 instance with the extra GPU, so then we have to use the instance type with the G2 and CG1 as well, right? So the more advanced instance types you use, more price you allow to pay, as simple as, right? That is what, based on your requirement. You see, if you want the laptop, if you want the laptop, it is only for simple works where you will be utilizing only for Excel or PPT, PowerPoint. Why you want to go and pay and buy the laptop with the 16 GB RAM, which is of not that required, right? When you're not using it for the high computational services. So here also, based on your requirement, you can really choose the instance types. Based on that only you will have to pay for it, right? So these are all the different kind of instance types. I'm just throwing a light on this. I'm not going in depth, because whatever is required for our creation of EC2 instance, I'm just throwing a light here. Then what are the key features, if you ask me? Yeah, there are different kind of key features of EC2 instance. Whatever we just spoke till now, like computer, you can optimize the computational, you can optimize the memory instance, again GPU instances you can optimize, right? You one can think of auto scaling, that's what, up and down, you can scale up and scale down, right? You can customize your services. So what services you, what kind of OS you want, what is the size of instance, right? What kind of storage, networking, everything, it is based on your requirement. Based on your requirement, you ask them, they will give you the service, right? So it is not something like, you ask X, they will not, they will give you Y. It will not be like that, right? So if you ask yes X, they will give you X only, not the Y, right? So is it EC2 instance, is it secure? Definitely yes. So even we saw in the previous slide as well, right? They have the different IAM SSH integrated, right? And pricing model, definitely it is a fully flexible, that's what I was talking about from the beginning of this lecture. So it is fully flexible, so based on your entire your utilization only, you will have to pay, you don't have to pay more than what you utilize, right? So what are the common use cases? As I already mentioned, so it is most used for hosting the websites and web apps, right? For running your own respective databases, and one can check with or work with the ML and AI applications with the data for the data analysis, right? So you can keep a track of your entire process, that's what batch data processing you can do. And this is what something you can think of, which is a game server hosting. It is not only the web servers and application servers, so you can also think of hosting the game servers on this EC2 instances or EC2 virtual servers, right? Then as this AWS also supports DevOps, and nowadays we are thinking that we are looking after that DevSec app, which is a Dev secure operations, like, so where you may also think of software development and testing with a secured prescribed. So these are the different key features of EC2 instances, if at all we have to look into it, right? So now let us bring up let us start with the steps to create. So before we move on to the what are the different steps to create the EC2 instances, I hope we are clear with what is just a basic awareness about what is that EC2 instance and why it is being used. Yeah, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now from here, I'll just switch over to the demo as well. So as usual, so if at all, if you want to have what if you want to work with the AWS, obviously one should have the account in the AWS. So you can create you can, as usual, you can go create the AWS account in the AWS. While creating the account in the AWS, it will ask you to it will tell you whether you want to create the a free account or what. While creating the free account also, it is okay if you if you want to, just for a demo sake, if you want to work, I would say you create an account, so you can create for 30 days trial, like that. But while creating, it will ask for the credit card and debit card details. You can provide even when you provide it also, it will just deduct 2 rupees from your account as an Indian, right? So again, it will revert back. So if at all, if you don't want to use the services further, you can block your account also. That I'll show you all that, right? So now coming to that, as I mentioned, you once should have an account in the AWS. Once after you have an account, you can log into that. As soon as you log into your account, which is AWS account, you can have a, as I mentioned, you need to create an account, then you need to sign in. Once you sign in, so then obviously it will be redirected to the respective what link which I'm trying to show you right now. So you see, as it is directly redirected to the, you can also observe it is AP South 1 region. So to there it is redirected. You can see it is the AP underscore South not underscore hyphen South 1. That is from where I am using. You can see it is Asia specific Mumbai, right? So that is where I am accessing right now. You can also think of other, you can also check other what regions, right? But at the beginning, if you, where from where you can fetch into, in the sense, this is what the what web link. So I am just switching over the slides to the web browser. I hope it is visible to you all clearly. That's switching over from the slides to the web browser.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it? Yeah, thank you. So this is what I was talking about. So as soon as you log into the get into this URL and give your respective credentials. When I say credentials, the based on your account which is created either as a root user or the IAM user. So once after that, it will redirect to the respective region by itself. So right here, I am in the AP-South one in this region. Now, so as the current session is all about creating the EC2 instances. So once after you create the EC2 instances and start using them, so you can also observe they will be sitting under this recently used. And as of now, in this account, see this is what my account. So in this account, I have not hosted any kind of application. So only you can see that there are no applications. If you think of hosting any applications, they will come and sit here. So as of now, I have not hosted any applications right here. So it is showing that no application in this particular account as research portal. Now, so let me take you to the EC2 creation. So just you can think of typing for the EC2 instance. Otherwise, all as already it is here, you can click on this and you can process further. But if you are not visited, not even once, because as I have already visited these items, so it is listed under recently visited. So I can directly go from here. Otherwise, you can type here as a this is in this search bar. You can click on the EC2 type for EC and where you can get the EC2. Click on the EC2. Once after you click on the EC2, so where you can see this is the EC2 dashboard. If you want to see, you can click on the EC2. Otherwise, you can also click on this dashboard. This is what we call as EC2 dashboard. So where it will give you the entire picture of your EC2. So right, how many EC2 which are already running. Okay, so what are the how many key pairs are already generated? Security, how many security groups you have, right? How many instances? So entire EC2 instance items which are applicable belongs to this account, which are available here in this EC2 dashboard. Right now, this is what I was talking about, the CloudWatch. All these things I'll come to that point later. And as you can see, so I had already created one EC2 instance here which is already running. So let me stop it. So I as I wanted to create from the beginning, so I'll stop this instance which is already running. So later I'll take you to the creating a new instance. So can't you create one more instance when this instance is already running? In the sense, definitely you can, right? Because as a kind of a demo, so I'll just come from the beginning of how exactly you can create the EC2 instance. Now I'll just go back to the either EC2 dashboard or EC2. Just click here, and I wanted to look into this part, which is launch instance, right? So you can find this launch instance even in the dashboard also. You have this launch instance here also, right? You can click on that launch instance. Once after you click the launch instance, it will ask you how what is the name of that particular EC2 instance you wanted to provide, right? So I can say that NCG sample. So I'm just providing it as a NCG sample as a one name. See, there are additional tags where if you want to give the kind of a even whenever you will be creating like username, username will be different, user IDs are different. Similarly, if you want to create the different kind of keys and values, you can think of creating. If not, if you is it always mandatory? Not required. If you just simply give this it is also enough. But it is all something like, more you want, you need to use more, right? So now I just gave it as NCG sample. Now as I mentioned about what kind of AMI. See, AMI, so the same thing we even I had mentioned as part of the steps also, you can also refer. AMI is something like Amazon Machine Image. So what is this image file in sense? So if at all I have to tell you, in general sense, whenever you are creating the, or whenever you talk about, when you are installing the operating system, you need a separate respective file, right? You need a file to install the operating system. Similarly, whenever if you want to install any specific application software, you need the .exe file. what I'm trying to convey, for creating anything in the system, you need a file, right? Whatever the file which you'll be using, either it can be .exe file, right? Somewhere like .msi files, .tr files, .tar files, anything for that matter. Similarly, here also for creating that image instance, the EC2 instance, you will have to use any one source file. You have to use any one source file. That source file is what you call it as AMI file. Here you call it as, which is Amazon Machine Image Files. And what are those you can use? You can see example. If you want to create the Windows, if you want to create the EC2 instance with the Windows operating system, then you'll have to click on this Windows. You have to select this Windows. If you want to create the EC2 instance with the Red Hat operating system, then you select this Red Hat. So if you see like this, there are different kind of, even if you click on this browse more, it will list you more. What I'm trying to convey, what operating system you wanted to install in your EC2 instance or virtual server, that is what you'll be choosing here. Defaultly, can I select, if you ask me, can I select Amazon Linux? Definitely yes. Definitely yes, you can select the Amazon Linux as a defaultly. There is nothing wrong in that. So can I select this Ubuntu? Definitely yes. So as I mentioned, based on your requirement, which operating system you want it in that virtual server, that is what you have to select, and that file, which is what you call it as Amazon image. That's what Amazon machine image AMI files, right? So as I mentioned, you can do select this what Amazon Linux. Otherwise, you cannot select the Ubuntu. Both are one and this. I mean, so both works. Or it is not only those. You can select any of it. So as an example, I'll just select the Ubuntu, right? So I'll select the Ubuntu. Once after I select that, so it is changing, it is giving us some information saying that some of the current settings will be changed or removed. What settings is it? Something like, in the sense, it is with respect to the group security group rules. So further, in the further steps, I'll show you what are those security groups, all that. So it will it will tell you all that. So which is already there, you wanted to change those, you can select confirm change. There is nothing wrong, because you are creating for your instance, right? You can click on the confirm changes. Once after you click on the confirm changes, see, you can observe what is that OS which you selected is Ubuntu server, right? So for that, the entire description you want, you can check it, look into here. What is that, how many bit machine is that? So entire thing, if you want to change now also, can I go back and click here? Definitely yes, you can click on this. That's how. First you need to choose the AMI, which is Amazon machine image. Once after that, then you have to create, this is what instance I was talking about in the previous one of the previous slide. I just shown you the instant type rise, instance types. So now this is where you'll have to choose the instance types. So defaultly there is T2 micro. So as see, if you want more, you can click here and search you if you want anything else. See, these are all the different kind of instances which you have. If you, as I mentioned, this is where you need to select the instance types, which I had just listed out here. These are all the different instance types we have, and as you can see, it is a T2 micro. So I'm just selecting this T2 micro as a simple EC2 instance. If you want, you can also think of the other, and this is where you'll be choosing. And I'm just as I wanted to create some free tier process, so I'm just leaving it as a free tier eligible only, which is T2 micro. So what is there in this instance, you can see here, where it is going to give me one CPU core, one core virtual CPU, right? And one GB, which is, I hope you know this, 1 GB and 1 GB with respect to the Ubuntu. It is 1 GB memory. And what is that, on demand pricing, how much is that? It is 0.012 for USD per hour. See, entire thing, it is only showing you. Can you see here? Based on this only, you can make a selection. If you want even more than that, one CPU is not enough for me. If you want more than that, you need to pay. You can see here, it is a T2 large. If you see a T2 large, it is a two CPUs where 8 GB memory, right? So at the time the price also increases. Can you see it is a instead of 0.0124, it is 0.121 USD per hour. See, that's what I mentioned. Based on your requirement, if your requirements increases, so your price will also increase. As simple as, right? But I am just keeping this T2 micro itself, which is a default thing, as an example for our demo. Then moving forward, so now this is again one more thing, which is the key pair. So which, when it comes to the key pair, like for the authentication scenario, so whether we need this private and public key pair or not, again you can have a decision by yourself. If you say that key pair, so if you want to proceed without generating a key pair for your server, okay, if you want to continue without generating the key pair for your server, can you continue? Definitely you can continue, but it is not recommended, right? It will be something like it is open to everybody, anybody can look into that. So let us not, that is not a suggested mechanism. So do generate the key pair for your instance server, whichever you are creating, instead of keeping it as a open, right? So it is, let us not give that chance of vulnerabilities. So let us generate the key pair. You can generate the key pair. When you generate the key pair, it will ask you what is the name you want to give. I'll just mention ncg sample key. You can give any name. This is the file which is going to store in your system. So right, so whenever you give the key pair name, which will be having both the private and public keys. Now this is where you will be selecting what key pair type you are going to use, or what algorithm you are going to use for key pair generation. Is it a RSA or is ECDD? But that's what I electric curve, which is ED. Whether which will be using, I'll be just using the RSA as a default. Then there are the two private key file formats which I wanted to throw a light some light here, which is .pem file and .ppk file. Where if you want to access your EC2 instance server from the SSH, like from your command prompt, then you can directly use this .pem. But if you want to access as a just like a Windows application, like whenever you'll be using the Putty as one such application, then you'll have to generate the .ppk. I repeat, if you need to generate, or if you need to access, okay, if you need to access from the OpenSSH, like from the command prompt, then you can just use the .pem. If you want to access from the Putty, right, in that case you will have to use the .ppk. Now I'm just using it as a .pem itself, and I'll just go ahead, which is a create a key pair. I'll just go ahead and I'll just click on create key pair. A key pair will be generated and it will be downloaded to your system. Now you can see a file which is downloaded to your system, which is ncg sample key.pem, the file which is already stored. So now we are done with generating the key pair. So as I mentioned, so it is left to you whether you'll be using pem or ppk file, based on the accessibility, whether you are going to access through the Putty application or through the SSH. Based on that you'll be using. If you want to when I say that PEM, what is, if you ask me what is PEM, is privacy enhanced mail. It is a simple thing. It is not complicated. It is a simple thing. PEM, which is privacy enhanced mail, whereas PPK we had, right, other file, which is a Putty private key. That's it. So as the PPK term only says that Putty private key. So if at all if you want to access this EC2 instance from the Putty, then use the PPK file, which is Putty private key file name, that extension. If at all no, if you say that you are going to access through the SSH, which is secure shell, then at the time generate the .pem file. I hope it is clear till now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now moving forward, so it is the network security and network settings. So basically this VPC, you can see there are the default settings would have made. So you can leave it as it is. So which network you want, it is the default network is already there, which is virtual private cloud, followed by the network ID, which is already there. If at all if you have created a new network for yourself, if you have created a separate VPC for your network, then you can choose here. If not, the default VPC network which is already here, and subnet also. If you have created a separate network, So that I'll be showing as a next title or next topic. There I'll be showing you how to create a separate network for your sake and how to add separate subnets for your sake. I'll be showing later. So if at all, if you want to, if you think that I don't want this, I want a new other items, okay, click on this edit, click on the edit. See, you can see here there are no other VPCs which are available, so you are allowed to choose this only. You don't have any other option. If you have created a new other VPCs, then you could have chosen them. Then subnet. So there are the different as of now there are three subnets. There are three subnets on this VPC. You can also choose the specific one. Say for example, here I wanted to launch this EC2 instance only in this subnet, only these fellows can access, nobody else. Then you can choose that. If not, you wanted to leave it as no preference, at that time it will be connected, this EC2 instance will be connected to the all the three, or it can be connected to the all the three subnets. You are not restricted with respect to subnet. But if you ask me, can you restrict with the only specific subnet? Yes, you can restrict. But that subnet you should have created. See here you have an option. You want to create a new subnet now also. Can you? Yes, you can. Then later availability zone. Again, as I already shown when I launched this portal. So you know what? You can get to know which zone you are belongs to right now. You want to change, you can change. You want to select the respective zone to which this EC2 instance has to be connected. Can you connect? Yes, you can select only that instance. Sorry, yeah, you can select this instance to only that zone. You can do it, but if you can leave it as a no preference only, let it be available to all. So when you select this no preference, this EC2 instance will be available to all the zones without any restriction. Then there is a auto assign public IP. See, here is the point. So can you enable this all the time? In the sense, definitely yes, there is nothing wrong in that, because but one thing is for sure, but if you want to restrict yourself, if you want to set the public IP for your instance by yourself, in that case you need to disable this. You need to disable this as simple as to make it as, say in general, this whenever you switch off and switch on this any EC2 instance, the public IP may be keep on changing, right? So but that is the what suggested one only. Let the public IP not restricted. But if you want to keep it as same public IP, then you can disable this service. Otherwise you can also use the other option we had, which is elastic IP. Elastic IP is also public IP, but it should not be changed every time. You can keep it as a constant. So only we say that elastic IP is a static public IP. You can also think of using that. So right now, if you ask me, like, can I keep it enable in the sense? Definitely yes, you can go ahead. Later, then next step, next thing is that firewall. Anyhow, we have a separate topic which we are going to see after this creation of this EC2 instance. We have a separate topic where we'll be discussing in detail about the firewall process. But before that, while creating the EC2 instance, it will ask you whether you want to create a new security group or you want to select the existing security group. If you click on the existing security group, you can add this EC2 instance to the existing security groups. You can see there are the two security groups which are available. Like one is default, the other one is NCG security group 1. But can you whenever you select this security group which are existing, whatever are the rules made to that security group which will be applicable for this EC2 instance also. I'm repeating, if you select this existing security groups, what are all the security rules which are made for these existing groups which will be applicable to this EC2 instance also, right? If you feel to go ahead, you can. If not, if you want, no, I don't want those security rules, I wanted to form my own security rules, in that case don't select this existing security groups. Then what you have to do, click on this create security group for yourself. You can say that, right? You can mention anything. I'll just say that NCG sample group 1. This is what the name I am giving for my own security group, as I am it is my own security group. It is me who can set the any security rules for my group. All that I'll be showing in the as the next topic onwards, right? So now description anyhow it only gave you, you can also edit it. So when it is created, what is the time zone, all that, that is only the thing. If you want, you can also edit. Then later, this is what I'm talking about, the security rules, right? This is what I'm talking about, security rules. So what is saying, what it is saying, defaultly it is allowing the SSH. Can I change? Yes, you can also change to any other protocols. Default it is allowing the SSH type, protocol is TCP, port number is 22. Defaultly this one security rule is attached to your security group. As I mentioned, you can also increase, add the multiple security groups, sorry, you can also add the multiple security rules here by using this button, but I'll not be showcasing that as a part of this demo. When I'll be showcasing the next demo, which is the next topic, at that time I'll show you how to add those security group rules and how to delete, how they will affect your accessibility of your EC2 instances. All that I'll showcase later, right? Now moving forward, so when I say that, you can, as I mentioned, you could have chosen the security group which is already available at that time. What are all the security rules which are already available for those groups, which will be which would have applied to your EC2 instance as well. But as you selected the new one, you can set your own security rules, right? Then later, moving to the storage section. So here is the storage section. Defaultly 8 GB is allocated. If you want to change, right? So here, if you want to change, can I change? Can I reduce? Yes, you can reduce. But you see, as you want to go this snapshot feature also, we are discussed in the first module, which is for backup and restore. See, volume which is smaller than the screenshot, that's a snapshot. So and it is saying that it must be at least 8 GB. So only set default it will be 8 GB. Then again, this is for GP, which is the general purpose. So general purpose SSD 3, which is DP3, which is S1, which is already selected. If you want to lower than, you can, right? So based on your data storage requirement, you can set. If you want even advanced settings, you can click on this advanced. So you, as when you click on this advanced, where it will ask you to what, add the new volume by yourself, right? Like this EBS, that's what I was talking about, other features, right? So when I shown you about the this mechanisms, like whenever you want to deal with this storage, I mentioned, right, S3 EBS and all. So this is where you can really think of how much storage you want to attach, like size, delete the termination throughput, how much you want to set. So entire thing you can set whenever you click on that advanced, right? I'm not going with the advanced, so I'll just go with the simple only. I'll not go with the advanced as of now, but you can, that's what, as based on your requirement. Next, there is one more section which is available, advanced details, but this is the optional one. It is not always compulsory, you have to look into this, but it is optional. As I mentioned, you can click on this advanced details, where from here you can see what domain you want to join, right? So it is left to you, but as of now there are no domains which are created. Then what IAM, which is for authentication, what IAM's instance you want to join. So you can also, it is entirely, as I mentioned, it is advanced, it is optional as well. These are the advanced, at the same time optional. when this when this termination should happen, that's what, when this termination should happen, right? When the stop production has to happen, like this, these are all the advanced options. So you can think of choosing based on your requirement. But is it compulsory to use this? Not required. Now we are done with giving our required setups. Now the same thing you can observe at the right side here. When you observe at the right side, these are all the things what you did till now, which is you selected what AMI, what what instance type, what security group, you created the new security group, what is the storage, entire thing you can observe here, where it will also tell, it is also telling you that you will get what, 750 hours say freely for using this EC2 instance, right? So if you click on this launch instance will be launched. But now, as I was talking about the scaling, which is that is what ECT, EC2, elastic, you can see same copy, how many copies you want to create, because whatever the setups you did now, this kind of setup, how many copies you want to create, that you can choose here as a number of instances. Those many instances will be created at a time, right? If you say 1 or 100 or 1000, whatever be the number of instances you choose, those will be created as a single shot, right? So here further in the further my topics and the demos also, that two more pointers let me highlight. While creating the EC2 instance itself, we will be creating this AMI, and also you could have also created, you could have also chosen the other AMIs. When you choose other AMIs, our further commands will vary. All that I'll be showing you in our demo. Similarly, we had you selected the instance, and we generated the key pair, and we created the new security group, and we added only one security rule, which is with respect to the SSH, right? So with this overview, I can click on this launch instance. As I already mentioned, if you want to create only one virtual server, you click on this launch instance by setting this one. If you want to create 100, you type 100 and click launch instance. Those many copies will be created. It is not like you have to configure every item separately. You can configure at a time. Now you can see successfully initiated the launch instance. Now, which is that I can click on this, otherwise I can also click on this instances. When I click on this instances, now you can see, say this is what which already I had created, which I stopped this before our beginning of our demo. Now this is what which we just created this. You can see instance state is still pending, because a verification is has to happen once after this, what, yeah, now you can see the instance state is running. So now you mean to say that you are done with creating the instance. I repeat, you are just done with creating the instance. So now you can continue with how to call, how to access this instance. That is a next thing. But before that, is it clear how to create the instance? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir. So now we have created a virtual server using EC2 feature of AWS, and now with the browser or with other means, we have to access. We can access this VM using that public IP address.
Exactly. That is what we are going to see as the next step. So till now we saw only the creation. So next part where we are going to look into that accessibility.
Fine, sir.
Yeah. So now, as I'm already mentioned, so we are done with creating this EC2 instance. If you want to go through again, so you can click on this click on this instance ID. When you click on that instance ID, it will tell you what are all the parameters you have selected and what are all it has set. As you remember, we have said that public IP as enabled. So this is the public IP which is assigned to your EC2, and this is what your private IP address, right? This is the public DNS, and what is the state? It is running. And IPv6 we are not selected, so it is not assigned. Then what is the host name? This is the host name, right? This is the private DNS name. So like this entire thing, whatever you can see, and this is the VPC ID which I was talking about, virtual private cloud ID, right? And this is the subnet ID to which it is connected. As when we were creating our EC2 instance, we mentioned that we did not selected any specific subnet, so we just selected no preference. So it among the available subnets it could assign. So this is the subnet ID to which this EC2 is assigned with. Then later, that's what, if you just scroll down and if you see entire data, see, like, did we generate the key pair? Yes. What is the name of that? That's what, this is the file which we generated. So like this entire data, whatever we have set up for this EC2, you can observe under this EC2 instance. Next, then when you click on this status and alarms, definitely we just created the EC2 this EC2 instance. We have not accessed this to anywhere. We are not used for any purpose as of now. So nothing is, there is nothing to show the metrics or alarms. You can see there is no data is available under the metrics. And even if you click on the monitoring, even if you click on the monitoring, that is what the cloud watch which we are talking about. So if you see, there is no data because the EC2 instance is just created. Nobody has accessed that. Nobody did nothing to it. So only it is no data is available. Even if you click on the security, so it is IAM rule. We did not set up the IAM rule. So but what we did is security group. Which is that security group? It is this. Did we set up any security rule? Yes, if you remember, we have set up that SSH rule, one rule, which is inbound rule. Like this, what I'm just trying to convey, whatever we have set up till now, everything is available here. What zone, what is subnet ID, what is IP address, all that, right? What is the storage also? What is the storage we have given while creating this particular EC2 instance? All that is available here, right? And final tags also, what is the username and the value we gave, right? It is a NCG sample is the value and the name is key. We have not set up any kind of user password for this, right? I'll just come back to this. So till now we saw only how to create the EC2 instance. Now let us move on to the accessibility. That's what connecting from the outer world. Now for that you have this option. You can click on this connect. When you click on that connect, there are the three options. There is a EC2 instance connect. When you click on that EC2 instance connect, you can see you can connect this EC2 instance by using the public IP, as I already shown in the previous, just previous to this window. I shown you where you can find out the public IP, where you can find out the private IP, right? And that what is the username you are given for this EC2 instance is Ubuntu, right? Like this, you can see similarly you session manager and SSH client. See, this is what I was talking about. Whenever you can connect or you can access this what you can access this EC2 instance which you just created either from the SSH, or you can also access from the separate web browsers, or you can also use the Putty, right? All that cases we will see right now. Yeah, coming to that, so as I mentioned, this is the name, and if you want to access from the what SSH, okay, if you want to access from the SSH, it is telling you, you can also look into this. What it is telling you, first open the SSH client, okay, first open the SSH client, then go to the file where your private key file is stored. If you remember, I had given this is the name of the my key pair file, which is ncg sample key.pem. This would have been stored somewhere. I have to go to this place. How can I go to this place? I can use the ch, which is chain mode. I can go to this place where my key is stored. Once after I go to that place, then only I should think of connecting to the EC2 instance, right? So what I can do, I'll just go back to the Windows. I'll just go back to the command prompt. So for your information, my what file which is stored in the downloads. If I have to show you the file, yeah. So if you just look into this is the NCG sample key which I am talking about. NCG sample key is the one which we just created the key pair. So which is there in the downloads. So I'll go to the downloads, and this is where I have to use this command. What is that command? Which is this SSH hyphen I. Whenever I use the SSH hyphen I, it will directly point to the root user, right? Root user in what? In this key pair file, which is ncg sample.key. And what is the username of for our EC2 instance we had created? It is Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu add. So and this is the south zone where it is connected with the zone. So this is what the command which I'm going to execute now. So I'm just going to execute this now. So it will ask you yes. I'll just say yes. So once after, you can observe right now I have logged into, not logged in, I can say accessed this EC2 instance. What is the username? It is this Ubuntu at IP. You can see this is 172.31.3.163. What is that? Let me show you that. That is if I'll just go back to the instances. Now, can you see this is the private IP address of my instance, which is 172.31.363. So I have accessed the EC2 instance which I just created through SSH. That is what we just access. If you want to see the what root user, you can click. So if you want to access the root user, you can type that sudo -i, where you can get into that. Right from there, you can start working with that instance whichever we have created. So that is how we can access the created EC2 instance from SSH. Before showing the further items, is it clear till now?
Sir, to access, I mean, any user to access this VM, they should have that file, that whatever the credential file, and that need to be with the user, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what I assume, because see, in this case I'm launching both in the same system, so I'm using both. I would say so only I went to the first downloads file where my that file was there, which is ncg sample.pm there, no. So that was there in the download. So after going to there only, I just launched it. Yeah.
Uh, Sir, in a real-time situation, in a practical situation, to access this VM, can't it be just a IP is exposed,
No, that's
something
what.
like that?
No, in the I mean, say in the next step, I'll be showing you how you can access from the browser as well, just by
Okay,
using
okay,
the
sir.
IP address. How you can access by using your public IP address. I'll show you that. It's a level by
Okay,
level.
okay,
I'm
sir.
trying to. I'll show you.
Fine, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, parallelly, if I at all I have to show you, this is what the content which I'm going to show, share with you all. So these are the steps which I already written here. That is what even I did. I just followed till now, right? So we are done with creating the key pair, choosing the instant type. Then we set up the configuration and set up the rules. But in our demo, we just did only this, security rule in our security group. So later we'll be also enhancing, and also we have did the configuration of EBS, and also I've shown you how you can extend that through the advanced if you want more than 8 GB, right? So again, add tags. I told you this is the optional. So where you can set up the key and value name, and we reviewed it and we launched it. So we are done with that. And then later this part also, which we saw till now, like where you can access from the EC2, you can access the EC2 instance through the SSH, right? So first we have to get into that SSH, I would say command prompt, and from where you can run that particular command to access your uh, the respective EC2 instance. While accessing, you will have to provide the name of your key pair file, and also name of, that's what, username of your EC2 instance, followed by the your public IP, which is where the domain is. It's where this EC2 instance is connected with as well. So till now, this is what I just shown you, right? So optional, as I have given here, you can also think of, right? So till now you just created the EC2 instance. In that EC2 instance, if at all, if you want to if you want to create any kind of what, a server. So you say, for example, as I mentioned, what kind of AMI we have chosen, in the sense we have chosen the Ubuntu AMI. We did not choose the Amazon Linux. As I mentioned there itself, you could also choose this Amazon Linux also. As we have chosen this Amazon, sorry, we have chosen what, Ubuntu AMI. So right, so that is what we have launched and accessed as well. Now you fatal, if you as this is a slide which is optional for you. So if you want to say, for example, I'll just I'll just exit from here. Yeah. Now, if you say that okay, I have accessed this EC2 instance. So here I wanted to create the Apache server. Can I do that? Yes, definitely yes. You can first check whether that is updated on date or not. That's what sudo apt update. Yeah, so you can see, so I can install my example. If I can, if you ask me to install the Apache server in that EC2 instance, whichever we have just created, can you do it? Yes, that's what I'm just trying to show you now. So this is what, after you access your EC2 instance, what are you doing? That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to install the Apache server in that. So right, so yeah, it is taking a couple of seconds, so let it, no issues. So meantime, so if you have any discussions, we can. Yeah, so we are just updated to the current state. Now let me install the Apache. Install Apache uh, 2-y. Yeah, so I'm just installing the Apache server. So can see, it is only just trying to tell you that we can, once after we access the EC2 instance, you can install whatever you want, right? So then I can do I can set the system control. Yeah, system control. I can set start Apache 2. Yeah, it is done. So if I have to check with how that is enabled, so because all the options has to be enabled before then I can use. I'm not showing you how to use this Apache 2, but I'm just showing you like how once after what, so you install, once after you access the EC2 instance, you can create the server whichever you want. You can see like this, all the services which are active now, whatever the services which we just launched. What service I launched? It is the Apache service on the in that EC2 instance. So that I just installed that Apache, and now when I saw the status of that Apache in the EC2 instance, it is showing that it is actively running right now. Okay, I can also come out of that. Yeah, I just stopped it. So like this you can also do it. So this is the third step which I wanted to show you. First step I shown you how to create the EC2 instance. The second step I shown you how to access that from the SSH. Okay, third step, once after you access, how to create any service. So I just created the Apache server right here, and later you can start using that. So that is the that's the third step of our discussion. Okay, now let me take you to the next pointer. Yeah, so next thing is that, so if at all let me show something else. So if at all, if you ask me like, is it only this way where you can access your EC2 instance from the command prompt itself? If at all, if you want to use the other application like Putty, what do you have to do? In the sense, point number one is that you are not like in the key pair, instead of the, see, if at all I have show you this key pair, whatever is generated, it is a .pem, right? It is a .pem file. But as I mentioned, so for working with the Putty, you need the .ppk, right? It is not the pem you need, right? So if at all, if you want to work with the if you want to work with the Putty, then you need a ppk file instead of that pem file. So what I have to do then? There are two options. First option is that this PEM file has to be converted to the PPK file. This PEM file has to be converted to the PPK file. Then only you can work with it. So for converting this PEM file to the PPK file, I have to use the PuttyGen, which I just already have installed here. But if you want me to tell you from where you can get it, so you can try Putty for download. Putty for Windows, you can click on that. So it will take you to this Putty, download Putty. I hope whatever I am showing you, it is visible clearly and getting the clarity, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So whatever the key pair what you generated for your EC2 instance, it was .pem file. But if you want to access from the putty, then that PEM file has to be converted to the .ppk. For converting that, you have to use this putty gen. Where is that? Yeah, putty gen. You have to use this putty gen. So this putty gen you can use for converting the PEM file to the PPK file. You can download this Puttygen, right? So once after you download the Puttygen, then just go back to that. So this is how you can download. Once after you download, when you when you try to launch that Puttygen, okay, it will ask you what you need to do in that Puttygen. So now I am trying to convert the uh, .pem file to the PPK file. Okay, so this is the putty generator. You can see putty key generator. That is what putty gen. What I'll do, I'll just load the file. What file? I'll load the .pem file, right? So I'll load the .pem file. I'm there in the downloads. I'll select the all files. Okay, this is what my .pem file, which is ncg sample key. This is the what pem file. Okay, it is loaded successfully. Now I'll go with save private key. I'll just click on this save private key. So Arish, you want to without a passphrase? Okay, because when opening that you can set the passphrase as well. Okay, if you want you can also set the key passphrase like ncg. I'll just set it as ncg as a passphrase. You can set, but it is not a compulsory to set the passphrase. You can set the passphrase like this, and I'll click on this select private key. See, again, as usual, see, these are all the mechanisms where we talk about the different security algorithms for key generations, where we have a RSA, DSA, right? ECDSA, which is elliptic curve, EDDSA, SSH1, which is RSA. Like this, different algorithms are there. Which algorithm I'm choosing? It is RSA with the key size as 2048 bits. I'll just click on the save private key. So when I click on save private key, it will ask me what name I wanted to give. As usual, I'll give ncg sample key one. I'll just say ncg sample key one, and save type is .ppk. I'll just save it. So now if you observe right here, this is the .ppk file. Okay, this is a .ppk file. Now by using this .ppk file, I can access my what that EC2 instance, because I just converted now. So the next is that I have to again, yeah, I'll take you back to here in the putty. So you can download this installer, which is putty 64-bit 83 installer .msi is there. No, you can download this, right? So I have already downloaded and I have already used. So I'll just launch it directly. But if you can, if you want, you can, if it is for the first time, you can download from there. I hope you saw from where you need to download from here, right? This is the official website from where you can download the installer, which is putty installer, right? I'll just launch the putty. I'm just showing you. I'll not be doing major things, which are because I already shown you what you can do through the SSH. Whatever you can do through the SSH, the same thing you'll be doing here also. So now you can see this is where the host name it is asking you. The host name, which is the public IP. You need to give the public IP. Where is that? Yeah, this is the public IP. I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just paste here, right? So then so is it enough? In the sense, actually no. So basically we need to set the authentication as well. So I'll just click on the authentication. Everything is set up. Okay, I'll just click on open. You can see it will accept. You are accessing this, which is 15 206 127 159, which is this, which is 15 206 127 259, right? So like this you can continue using it. Actually, this is how you can access from the putty, right? Which is one such application where you can access. But is it only the putty? No, as I already shown you, through the SSH you can access, and this is other way where you can access through the putty, right? But as I mentioned, for accessing through the putty, you need to have a .ppk file instead of the .pem file. As I hope you followed that while creating that instance where you can generate the key pair. right? At that time, if you have chosen the PPK, then there itself, you don't need a conversion process. If you have chosen the PEM at that time, now if you need a conversion, then use the Putty Gen. I just shown you how from where you can download. It is from this website only where you can download Putty Gen for conversion. But if you have already created the .ppk file only while creating itself, there's no need of any conversion, right? That is a third point. It's not third point, fourth point which I would like to highlight. So till now we discussed about how to create, how to access from the SSH. Once after accessing, what you can do from the SSH, and the fourth pointer is how to access from the Putty. Now let us move on to the next. You can directly click on the instances. So and open that instance. So this is what our instances. So here itself you can click on this and go for it. If not, you can also click on this security. And this security, I want you to get into this security groups. Okay, I want you to get into the security groups. Click on the security groups. When you click on the security groups, this is what I was talking about, inbound rule. As of now, there is only one inbound rule, which is this, which is related to the SSH. Now I want you to add one more inbound rule. I wanted to add one more rule, which is related to the HTTP, because I want you to connect from the what? I will just use my IP and say. So what I just added, one more rule which I just added, which is this, which is HTTP type TCP protocol, which is in the transport layer. Then port is HTTP port, which is 80, and the source IP. Now what I can do, I'll just copy the public IP. I can copy the public IP. I'll just go back to the EC2 instance. Or is it visible here? It's not visible. I'll just go back to the EC2 instance. I need to take the public IP. Yeah, this is the public IP. I'll just take the public IP. Okay, I'll just type HTTP colon. So that public IP. When I use that public IP, where I can respective IP through so now you can observe as I hope you remembered in the previous discussion, when we accessed through the SSH, we have installed the Apache server onto that EC instance. I hope you remember that. So that is what it is access, which is Apache default pages visible. So from now onwards, if you it is left to you whether you are going to host the website, or what you are going to do. It is left to you. So I'm just showing you, this is the, you can access your EC2 instance from the website web browser as well. But if you want to access that, you need to set up the respective rules, where you will be setting up. You will be setting up at the security groups under the network and security. You need to go to the respective security groups, and there are different kind of security groups which are, you see there was default and sec group which was already there. What is your security group? It is NCT sample group 1. You need to click on that, and you need to set up the HTTP. Even if I have to tell you one more thing, see what is the rule, inbound rule. What is the inbound rule we set up? It is HTTP only. Okay, we set up only HTTP. We did not set up for HTTPS. Both are not same, for your information. Now what I'll do here, if I see what I am using, HTTP followed by the public IP. I'll use HTTPS. And when I try to access by using the HTTPS instead of the HTTP, will it allow? That's the next point, because HTTP and HTTPS both are not same. I hope you are all aware about that, right? So, but what are the rule which I have set up? It is only for HTTP, not for the HTTPS. I'll just open again. I'll open with the HTTPS colon. So you can see it is it should not connect, because we have not set up for the HTTPS. We have set up the inbound rule only for HTTP. So it should not allow me. So only it is taking too much time. You can observe. It will not allow